Welcome to Action Coaching. We're certainly delighted that you joined us on today because we believe that God has given us some special coaching tips just for you. We believe that every one of us needs someone to coach us in our life. Now, a lot of times people think when they get a coach, the coach is trying to change them. No, what they're trying to do is bring the best out of them so that you can function at a very high level. And that's why we have these programs here entitled Action Coaching, so that we can just give you some basic tips that you can continue to improve your success, because our desire is that you live and succeed at a very high level. And you cannot do that without good coaching. So we are excited about that. Now I want to talk about on this week about transitioning. Yes, transitioning. That's the word that is often thrown around, but very few people use it. I'll start off saying that years ago, I was on an airplane, can't remember where I was flying to, but I began to read an article then in Time magazine. And so in that article, Time magazine began to describe the transformation of a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. And it caught my attention because I never studied that before. And the more I read it, the more it began to speak to me as to how in life we have to be able to make certain transitions if we want to be successful. Now, changes are different from transitioning. A lot of times people get stuck in changes. They may move to a different spot, but they still doing the exact same thing. Say, for instance, you're working on one job and then you want to go to a higher job. Will probably pay you more money, give you more opportunities, but you want to go to the new job functioning like you did on the old job. That is not going to happen. You're not going to be very successful. But in this article, it began to talk about how that a caterpillar eventually would change into a butterfly. Now, I don't know if those of you that are familiar with the caterpillar, but perhaps after this coaching session is over, you should look it up. Caterpillar is slow, it's long, it's got all those legs, and it's not in any hurry. It walks slow, it moves slow, it's got all those legs, and it cannot even move fast. But that's just one form that it is in. And eventually, through time, the caterpillar will wrap itself up in a cocoon, and eventually the transformation takes place, the transition takes place in their life. And once they come out of the cocoon, now they are a butterfly who's able to fly and look completely process is worked out in life. Now, a lot of us, we want to go to the next level. We want to do different things, but we want to take old habits to new places. And new places demand new habits, new vision, new work ethic, a new way of thinking. You just can't take the old habits to a new place. Because for every elevation in life, it demands that you make changes and adjustment to exist on that level. It's like growing up. You're born, your parents are taking care of you. Eventually, everything about you is transforming you into ultimately what you will be. I mean, all of a sudden, baby comes here, is just looking and don't exactly know what it's looking at, but it do have eyes. Or sometimes the baby will grab for something, don't even know why it's grabbing for it. It's just reaching out. But as it begins to transform, eventually those eyes are something that they understand they can see with it. They begin to recognize things. As they begin to transform, all of a sudden they begin to try to walk, try to talk, and they are growing up to being a human being. A lot of times people that don't like the changes, I'm just using the baby as a kind of a graphic example, they can be grown people and still acting like babies because they simply have not transformed. They simply have not made that transition, and they just refuse to transition or transform into any other level because they want to stay right here. Even sometimes I can experience that in the church. People consistently talk about they like the old time way as if there's not a new way. You know, you hear people, well, we didn't do it like this in the old time way. Well, of course, you ain't the same person you were in the old time way. What you can do at 20, you might not be able to do it as fast as 40. But for you to run around at 40 and try to act like you still 20, that's very, very frustrating. But it simply means you have not made the transition. You just stuck to the changes. So, how do we deal with that? How important is that to our ultimate success? Transformation is a powerful word and a powerful force that is used in our development, because we actually have the ability to transform into something we have not been before. The great thing about the human mind is it gives man all kinds of possibilities. It gives women all kinds of possibilities. Transform from being one way to a completely different person. Level. It's amazing. You transform your body to look a different way. There are people who perhaps didn't even grow up running very fast, but through the process of transformation, they went on to win Olympic gold medals, recognized all around the world. And if we understand, we are not born to stay stuck in one place. Because you know what the dangerous thing is about change? Why people don't like to change? You can be stuck on something that ain't no good for you then, won't be no good for you tomorrow, but you just refuse to change. You just refuse to transform into ultimately other things that God have designed for you to be. And that's what the amazing thing is about, this change and transformation that we want to talk to you on today. In coaching, people get coaches because they want to do better. They follow leaders because they want to do better. But a lot of times, people can get coaches, they can follow leaders, and they still have their mind made up that they're going to stay the same old way. They want it the same way all of the time. And they need to transform because there are new things that are developing every single day. Your body is not the same from year in to year out. When you celebrate birthdays, it means that you're changing, you're transforming into something else. You see things different. You got to act different. You got to adjust different, but that's not a bad thing. Now, how do we do that? Let's go back to the article I read on the butterfly and the caterpillar. In this article, it says that a caterpillar, for one stage in its life, is comfortable with being a caterpillar. But there's a point where a chemical goes off in the caterpillar's mind, and it begins to start the transformation. Now, I don't want you to go anywhere, but remember, I said the mind. I'll be right back to talk to you. I left off talking about how there's a chemical released in the caterpillar's mind that starts the transformation. Isn't that amazing? It's so much of like our human life. If we are going to transform, if we are going to make that transition, it's got to start in the mind. You can put on different clothes, you can drive different things, you can move to a different place. But if you carry the same habits, then the place didn't change you, the new thing that you're driving didn't change you, the circumstances that you're in didn't change you. You just simply moved to a different place, but you kept your same habits. However, this article said that once the butterfly, that chemical goes off in his mind, it immediately begins the process of wrapping itself in a cocoon. Now, I like to say the cocoon is that place where nobody see you transforming. That's the amazing thing. Because if people saw you transforming, they probably stop you from transforming. They probably stop you from making that transition. I often say that greatness is done and made and developed when nobody is looking. Because once you see greatness, it has already went through the transformation while you weren't looking. It's done in the dark, because that's a time that you are going to have to make some changes. You're going to have to change and transform your thinking, your actions, how you're going to develop the tools you need to use in order to make the ultimate transformation. God is transforming us, or desires to transform us each and every day. That is what coaching is designed to do. To make you better. To make you understand, just because you can do something good, that still is another level. What you thought you were doing good. And even when you reach that level, there's another level to do good. See, things that people like to do in life. Hey, that's the only way you have. Yet they'll be jealous of people who have made the transformation, who decided to do what's necessary to move to another level. So you join this blessing to yourself. You decide in your mind, first of all, before the body can react. Understand this. The body don't move by itself. The mind moves, and the body is to react to the mind. So whatever you're thinking in your mind, whatever you're believing in your mind, your body is going to make the necessary adjustments. And if you want to rise to a new level, you can do some exciting things in your life. If what you're doing is not working for you, it's time. Same thing the caterpillar did. Go to the cocoon and get to the ball. Because when you come out, you want to be a butterfly. You want to fly high. You want to be tall. It's something different. That is why anybody that wants to do better, they don't get coaching. They don't come to classes. Try anything different. Just that. Anything you get better at is starting in your mind. Whatever field you in, if you want to get better, you got to go and somebody coach you. You got to let somebody change and tweak what you're doing so that you can move to a higher level. And that's what transformation is all about. Now, I don't have much time, but people are saying, well, how do change and make this transformation? Well, first of all, you're going to have to be willing to work. You're going to have to be willing to put in more time than what you did before. Because where you are right now is a result of the time you put in. But if you want to move to a higher level, you got to put in more. You got to evolve and make that transition in your mind that I'm going to do this every day till I move to the next level. And that's what because you need someone to drive you. Someone to believe in the ministry, and I always believe that we can function excellence. But however everybody talent. They want to function at a high excellence. They want to do what is necessary to function at that level. Result, those of us who function at a high level of excellence, we make that transformation and leave them behind. Because we all knew that there were things in front of us, and we that transition, if we go through that transformation, there are things that we want to experience. I'm talking to people who want to better, who want to do things at a higher level. Maybe a better job that you want, maybe a situation you want to change it. But it's all going to start in your mind. You got to fix your mind. You got to evolve your mind. You got to transform your mind. The next level is going to take a transformation. It ain't going to take a change. Let me give you an example. The difference between change and transformation. I live here in Atlanta. Of course, being in Atlanta, you got to cheer for the home team, the Atlanta Falcons, the Atlanta Braves, and the Atlanta Hawks, and so on and so on. Stop doing for Atlanta, the Texas. But I still got all of the Atlanta gear on. I'm still cheering for Hawks. I'm still cheering for whatever. I'm in Dallas. That means I just made a change. I from Atlanta to Dallas, but I'm right in Dallas the same person I was in Atlanta. To Dallas, I got to find me a Dallas Cowboy shirt. I got to get me the boots. I got to cheer for the home team because I am now living in Dallas, Texas. Now, what's the difference between change and transformation? It's simple. From change to transformation, you got to cut some things off. You can't do them the same way anymore. You've got to go through a metamorphosis just as the caterpillar and the butterfly. When you come out, you're not going to be the same person. I'm excited about we in a place where people are being transformed every single day. Millionaires and billionaires and successful people are coming up every day, all because they decided in their mind that they were going to put the work in. They put the work in. They surrounded themselves with the necessary coaches and the necessary things to make them great, and thus they made the total transformation. Now, action coaching is just designed to give you tips so you can start this process. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. So many people do. They think they keep doing the same thing. But you got to start in your mind. You got to you want different results. You got to do different things. People place to worship, finally got a storefront church. But I realized that if I wanted to go from a storefront church to a bigger church, that things about me had to change. There's a transformation that had to take place in me, because going from a smaller place to a larger place, there are more things you got to handle, there are more things you got to deal with, there are more pressures that come upon you. But however, when you make that transformation, you find that there's a whole new world waiting on you. That's why you need coaching. Don't want you to go anywhere. I'll be right back to talk to you.
Tap somebody and say, I'm made for miracles. You know why God allowed things to happen to you? He want to teach you that there are about 5 people got it. He want to teach you that there are. So whatever the devil knock you back with, God said now's the time to show him that he can't keep me there. Y'all ain't talking. Now is the time to let the devil know greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world.
Welcome back. I'm excited about today's lesson. Stop making changes and start transforming yourself. Start going through the transition to move to the level you want to go. I'm excited about your future. There's so many things in store for you. Get the right coach. Get in the right environment so you can make that complete transformation. I'm delighted at what your future is going to be if you just use some of these principles. Now I want to encourage you before I go to sit down and send a generous seed faith offering to Action Coaching. We want to make Action Coaching bigger and better, do more creative things, because we want to move to another level too. We want to transform into something even greater here on Action Coaching. And we can do that by you supporting us with your financial contribution so that we can buy things and do even greater things here on Action Coaching. Do it on tonight. Do it today. Help us right now. There's a link in my bio that will give you a host of ways to support Action Coaching, and we would love to hear from you. We know that God is talking to you now, and you're going to sow that seed on today. Thank you for your support. Thank you for joining us here on Action Coaching. Encourage us to do so they too can. Lord, I'm serving with you as I do each and every week. I want to encourage you. Share the word with me. Word in action.